Been a second. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Queen's Realm Podcast. Know who I am? I'm the Queen. This is my podcast. I'm Samir the Poet. I have a special guest today. He real fancy with the name. You see, he said Executive L. Okay. And if you haven't noticed already by the title of this episode today is called Fight Night. And we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about the correct way to handle conflicts in relationships, all kind of relationships, friends, married, lovers, whatever. This is the start of my mental and emotional health month. Okay, people? Because we all listen, a lot of mental health issues getting exposed with the Rona. Read the shirt, people. Self-love.
Self
Okay?
love. It starts there, baby. It starts there.
It's, somebody speak on it. And I got some
Hmm.
notes like I always do. I got my pad and my paper. We're gonna talk about this. Fight night.
We're gonna get into it.
The first point, and I always like to give y'all a reference. My research today came from Psychology Today and
Hmm.
this website called Help Guide. And all they do is help you. You put in your issue that you have. Boom. I'm gonna do a couple shameless plugs real quick. We got. I don't know if you see the bracelet. You know what I'm saying? I will put it in the comments and in the link. Beaded Glory by our very own Glory. She makes the custom bracelets. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a little plug real quick.
Ain't
Custom
nothing wrong with
bracelets.
a plug. I could
You
plug
know what I'm
mine
saying?
too.
And I learned this from the other YouTubers. I got the nails today, you know, what I'm saying, and I got the white toast. Shout out to Kalimah Colors and Aisha Kalimah. Again, I put all that in the description box. Should get your girl together. Both black women, both black owned businesses. So, I'm always buy black
Mine as
everything over
well.
here. So the first point today, and I'm already hot. The first point today on the correct way to handle conflict. The first point on this list is to know your own feelings.
Absolutely. Knowing oneself.
Know
Absolutely.
your own feelings. Seek to grow in self awareness. Self,
Hmm.
self awareness. Okay. Being in touch with your own feelings is essential before you can constructively handle anger or conflict.
Totally agree.
Because if you don't even know what you're mad at
Or about.
or who, like, you're just mad.
No clue
Why?
why you're mad. Just mad.
You don't know why you triggered. You don't know nothing. You just know you mad
Hmm.
at. Why? When? Where? What did it happen? How did it happen? You don't know nothing. So you just want to be mad. That's how I think. That's how I look at it. So they just
Pretty
want to be
much.
mad. Um, and notice it didn't say that you can't be angry, and that you won't have conflict. But this word I like right here is this C word. It says constructively. Const- constructively,
Hmm.
meaning like when I tell my nephews they're 5 and 9. I don't care that you're mad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to have that feeling. I literally was saying this all day yesterday. But who you talking to? Who you talking to? I don't care that you're mad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to have feelings. But who you hollering at? Cause what happened? It's just
Because
it's the
you have to get that together. Once you understand what you're mad about or
right.
what's upsetting you, then you get yourself together, you process your thoughts, and you express them in a respectful tone. That's number one, a
Yes.
respectful tone, and articulate as possible. There's never such thing as it's too many words, or I wanted to shorten it down to
Mm,
keep it short. No, articulate your own thoughts, your own emotions, however you feel, so that it's spoken clearly, so that the other party can't say, "Oh, I didn't know," or "I thought you meant X, Y, Z." No, 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 no.
that's not
That's
going.
why sometimes you have to step away from a situation or step away
Mm,
from a person, calm down, get your thoughts together, and then come back. Some people are good at talking it out in a moment. Some people are not.
Right. That's
But whichever one you are, you have to know that, which starts with the shirt, self love, knowing
come on, somebody.
oneself, understanding oneself,
Come on, speak.
and then coming back to your partner, whoever that may be, and saying, hey, this is what you did. This is how it made me feel. This is why I feel that way. And that's very key that some people don't understand and don't know. Why are you feeling like this? What makes you feel that way? You know, it could
Right.
be a childhood trauma. It could be a previous relationship before the relationship you're in right now. It could be your mom or your dad. They are that way, and you inherited that in your DNA.
Come on. Come on, somebody. I wrote down a couple things while you was talking because I always have notes. One
Yes.
thing that I wrote was get it out, but clearly. I think a lot of people feel like
Hmm.
because sometimes I say, give me a second to calm down, that they think that when I come back, I'm not. No, I'm going to say everything I said. I'm trying to
Yeah.
get the tone together because
That's
I
key.
don't like to
That's
be
key.
yelled at. Because as soon as
That's the
somebody starts
start.
yelling at me, my brain cut off. I don't even know what you're talking about now.
Hmm.
I don't know what's happening. And I hit you with the Kevin Hart. Are you done yet? Because who you hollering at? That's all I heard was the hollering and the yelling. So don't yell at me. Let me give me a chance to get it out clearly. Um, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're triggered, just admit you triggered. That's it. Because I say it all the time. I'm like, ooh, I'm triggered. I'm triggered a little bit. I'll say it out loud.
Yeah.
So
Or
people
that
may know
made me
this is
feel
what
a
it looked
certain
like when you
way.
get triggered. What was you saying?
Or that made me feel a certain
Right.
way.
I'm
And
like,
some
ooh,
people
I'm
don't
triggered.
like to
Why?
use the word triggered.
Hey, just acknowledge the feeling when you have it because if you don't, then later on, I feel like
Hmm.
people later on, especially women, I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw us under the bus just a taste bit. Just I feel like you're mad at something right then and you wait and you hold it and
Hmm.
it's like I always say that I'm triggered out loud because I want to make a mental note for myself because if I don't say that this triggered me,
Hmm.
then the original thing that triggered me is going to lead to something else that triggers me. There's something else that triggers me, and it's like a
Domino effect.
link on a chain.
Hmm.
Yes, it's like a domino effect. So initially, one thing triggered you. Now that one thing have 19 triggers of its own. Your trigger can have triggers, people. So you need to acknowledge the original thing
They
that's
don't
happening.
realize it. They don't realize it.
Second point, we're gonna go to anger
Point number
is an
six.
emotion, neither right and wrong in itself. There's no more. Let me get close to the camera so they can understand. There is no morality to feelings. Okay, there's no morality to feelings. You have
Hmm.
to try to understand what prompted the feeling, and morality comes into play when you take a destructive action as a result of a feeling.
Oh yeah.
Did y'all hear me when I say morality don't have anything to do with feelings?
I think you might have to give a small definition of that word if you have it on you. If not, then just
I can Google it real
kind of
quick.
give an
I can
overview
Google it
of what
real
that is
quick.
because that is very very important. And I feel as if they need to understand what
Mm.
that word means and how important it is to what you're speaking on right now.
So I got the definition of morality. I got it fast. Okay. It's the noun. Huh? It's
Hmm.
a noun. It's not a
Hmm.
verb because verb
Hmm.
is action. It's something you have to do. It's a noun. And the definition it goes as follows. It's the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong and good and bad behavior. Let me read that first definition again because I feel like it's hidden. It's hidden. Principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong and good and bad behavior. Go into more detail, a particular system of values and principles of conduct, especially one held by a specific person or society, to the extent of which an action is right or wrong. It's a noun. It's a person. It's a thing. What you do as a result of your anger is the verb. That's where your morality comes into question. I'm mad at
Correct.
you, so I'm going to punish you emotionally, physically, mentally. That's where your morality comes into play. And it's also a choice you make of what to do when you're angry.
Hmm.
That's why it started out by saying anger is an emotion. Just because you're angry, that does not mean something has to follow your anger.
Not at all. You have to be able to control it, channel it, focus in on it, understand that I'm angry right now. So if you haven't reached the level of communication to where you can communicate when you're angry and still
Mm-hmm.
communicate effectively and respectfully, that's when you
Mm-hmm.
got to take a couple minutes,
Right.
you know, or take a
Absolutely.
night. You know, you may not be able to have that heated debate. Not everybody is skilled enough to have heated debates, and it's
Come on.
okay. It's
One more.
okay.
Wait. Rewind. Run it back. Say it one more time. I don't think they heard you. Say it one more time.
Everyone is not skilled enough mentally to
Mm-hmm.
have a heated debate
Mm-hmm.
respectfully.
Ooh, shit.
And
Got the Holy
the
Ghost.
thing about it is, you have to know oneself. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with the shirt, self love. You
Mm-hmm.
have to know oneself and understand that, hey, I'm just not there. You know, if I need a few minutes, I need a few minutes. If I need a night, I need a night. You
Yes, sir.
know, some people may say, oh, don't go to bed angry. I'm going to tell you right now, you've been married, I've been married. You
You
going
see,
to go
I'm
to bed
trying to
angry.
hold it.
You going to go to bed angry. Not every problem is going to get fixed that night. Will you put your best foot forward? Will you attempt to get the problem fixed that night? Yes. But
Mm.
sometimes it's just not going to
It
happen.
don't happen.
It's
You
just
can
not going to
you.
happen.
I just triggered. But I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'm gonna tell a little story. Don't go to bed angry. I'm never like to go to sleep angry because I don't sleep. I
Hmm.
battle with anxiety most of my life. So it's just gonna make me anxious. So I'm not gonna go to sleep. So that's why I
Got to
usually
put a
forget.
pause on the conversation.
I gotta put a pause. Let me calm down
Hmm.
first. Let me shuffle through the thoughts. Let's come talk about it because a lot of times I get in relationships and people don't want to give me the pause.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to give me the pause. Cause if not, I'm gonna say some not nice things. It's like the Hulk. You wouldn't like me, but I'm angry. Leave me alone. And I'm a writer. Nope, not to pat my back. I'm a writer. I'm very creative. Um, at one point, and I'm not proud of this. At one point, my ex-wife referred to me during an argument as a mental terrorist. But I had already said, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about this right now. You don't respect me when I say leave me alone. All right now. Because I know who I am as a person. And it can be because I'm a Capricorn. It can be because I'm a middle child. It can be because I'm one of them. I get a B in school, so me and the teacher gonna have to have a conversation about why this B can't at least be A minus. Whatever. But when I'm arguing with somebody, one, I don't like arguing. I feel like we can have conflict and discussion without the yelling and the screaming, and because I'm a tune out. But when I'm telling you to stop talking to me because I'm too upset to, like you said,
Wait. I got to stop you. I got to stop you.
ooh,
Because you use a word that is not good in communication. You said, when I'm telling you to stop talking, you have to ask. If I'm asking you
ooh.
to let's please
I mean,
not
I
have this
asked.
conversation right now.
I'm just
No,
saying
no, 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 no. You
this
said,
is
when
how I'm
I'm
telling the
telling you.
story. This is how I'm
When
telling the
I'm telling
story to
you.
give you reference. When I'm telling somebody that I'm upset, I'm too upset to talk, and you want to
Hmm.
keep talking to me, I'm working on this. This is a work in progress. God ain't done with me yet. Don't worry about it.
He ain't.
I'm going to say something to you to make you stop
Uh-huh.
talking to me. Here's the thing, though. That thing I say
You said do
is,
that. You
I
said
know.
do that.
I'm divorced. Did I say that? Uh-huh. Hey, I'm working on that. Now, what I now. This is younger me. This is my birthday is in 18 days, right?
Okay.
Wait, I gotta do math. Make sure that's right.
Yeah, it's on Christmas Day.
Yeah, 18 days. Um, so now in my 30s, that's in my 20s. Now I
Mm-hmm.
just be like, okay, you got it. I decide what's worth even because I decide what's worth
Absorb
even
the
arguing.
energy. Yeah, what's worth the energy?
Like you got it, you good. I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
good. And I get over stuff much faster now than I did back then. Because I'm just like, I
quickly.
don't. It's not that I don't care. It's just I don't have a care for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a care for that. I don't have a damn. No, excuse my language, y'all. I don't have a fuck for that. I don't have a care. I might have some dams on sale for $9.99, but I don't. My cares are reserved for certain things. And a lot of
Not nine
times,
ninety nine though.
people that you love, listen, shout out to Darren Fleet because that's where I got that from. But uh, a lot of times people think that because you love them,
Mm-hmm.
this is a common
Speak on
misconception.
it.
I'm gonna just let
Speak
everybody
on
know
it.
right now. A lot of people think because you love them and you care about them that you have to care about the things they care about. I don't, and you can't make me. I care about you. That's different than having the cares that you have.
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean I don't care
Exactly.
about you. That doesn't mean I don't care about
Yeah.
anything. But my cares aren't your cares. I care
My
about
dream is not your dream. I can
somebody's.
support your dream, but not love your dream. My dream is not your dream. And that's why it's your dream. But that's for another episode. I ain't gonna get
Listen,
too deep
listen.
into that.
That's a whole.
But
That's
I
gonna
just
be.
want to make that statement because it's relevant in the point that you're making. Is that your mate may not care about what you care about.
Right.
And we're not talking about on a constructive level, meaning like it's detrimental to the relationship. I'm just saying, in the fact of the matter is, your mate may not care about what you care about. Say, just for instance, for example, I'm in culinary and hospitality.
Mm,
Somebody I'm with, they may hate cooking. They may not enjoy it. They may not like serving. They may not want to do anything with that.
mm,
Their industry could be something totally different.
right.
But I have to respect that that's who they are as an individual.
Mm,
And number one, I chose them, me personally.
right.
This
Right.
goes
Right.
for
Right.
women too. You choose who you're with. You chose them,
Mm-hmm.
even though the man made the ask and said, hey, we want to be, exclusive or whatever the case may be. But you chose that gentleman. So you chose him. And whatever his career path is, it may not be like yours. And that's okay.
Right. And
But
that
you
don't mean they don't
must
care about you.
support them, though. You must support them, though.
Right. Uh, we're gonna go on point three now. We're on point three, y'all. Made it to point three. I feel like somebody's gonna be upset and triggered by this first sentence. I just feel like it in my spirit, like somebody gonna get upset.
It may happen.
Negotiation and compromise are essential. It says in any marriage, but I'm gonna say in any relationship, friends, lovers, family, whatever. Negotiation and compromise are essential in any relationship. Because during calm and clear moments, you have to agree that neither partner should win a fight. Neither person just it's not about winning.
Agree to disagree.
Um, I don't like him all the time. But Dr. Phil said something that that stuck in my head one day. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?" Yeah, you won the fight. Now what? Now you mad that your girl don't want to get you no booty for a week because you was right. You happy now? You were right. You were right. And
I
women,
want to
you
take
were
it.
right. Now your man got an attitude every day. You don't know what's wrong with him. He don't want to cuddle because you wanted to
I
be
want to
right.
take it back. I want to take it back to your point. Reread your first statement, and I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on my
No,
opinion and my experience from
on
that.
the negotiating
Mm-hmm.
of the point three, or you want me to go all the way back to number one?
No, point three.
Okay, negotiation and compromise are essential in any
Okay.
relationship.
Okay. So let's go. Let's go with
Woo!
negotiation. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I'm gonna sit up because I need to make sure that people understand and see
They get the
where
point.
I'm coming from
Right.
and get a feel into it.
Mm-hmm.
Negotiation is number one. Negotiation and compromise equals open mindedness.
Oh, come
I'm
on,
gonna say it
somebody.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Negotiation and compromise equals open mindedness. Some people are very, very much closed minded,
Mm,
but if
mm,
you're a
mm,
closed minded
mm.
individual, it automatically affects your relationship.
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes.
Because your view on the world, your opinion about the world is not going to ever be totally the same as your partner. So that's number one. Negotiation. What negotiation is simply is an open level of communication, open door policy, basically.
Mm,
You say how you feel, I say how I feel. It could be on two opposite ends of the spectrum.
right.
But at the same time, I'm allowing you to express your feelings. Am I saying I'm going to agree 100% with what you say? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I'm going to be an active listener, meaning
Mm,
that I'm going to close off my mind.
mm.
I'm not going to listen to respond. I'm going to
Woo!
listen to receive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to listen to
Hallelujah.
respond. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to listen to receive
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I may not agree with it, even though I may not even support how you feel about it, I'm going to receive what you're saying and understand and process it before I respond.
Cool.
So negotiation, that's negotiation, meaning that I hear you, I understand what you're saying, I accept what you're saying. Now let me give you my response to what you're saying after I processed it. Listen, if you're
Because I was
responding,
just about to ask you to say that again. Say that process.
okay, so let's go take it back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to listen to
Mm-hmm.
receive what
Mm-hmm.
my partner is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Receive it, meaning I'm going to hear them, I'm going to feel them, I'm going to understand
Yes,
what
God.
they're saying, even
Mm-hmm.
if I don't agree with it, even if I don't feel like it's the right way of thinking. It could be
Mm-hmm.
off base. It could be it could be totally it could be totally wrong. Let's be real here. It could be
Yes.
totally wrong. Their view of thinking could be totally wrong
Yep.
on the situation at hand. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna receive it as their partner, as their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is. I'm gonna receive it. And then I'm gonna process it, meaning I'm gonna take a pause. They're not going to stop what they're saying and then I just rebuttal. No, I'm going to receive what they're saying, going to process it, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it. That's a fair negotiation. It's just
Right.
like if you go to a car dealership. You know in your head what you want to pay a month, but you can't cut the dealer off because then you never get what you want. You got to
Right.
hear them out. You got
Right.
to make them. You got to make them think like, I really heard you, but I really only want to pay $280 a month.
Right.
And you know that in your head. So if they start that talking and they start talking 320, so okay, I gotta work it back. I gotta reel it down. I'm almost where I want to be. I'm almost where I need to be. You know? Um, so that is the pure form of negotiation. Now, the second part of what you were saying,
Oh, I didn't even
uh,
get to finish reading. That ain't even the whole point for point three. That's just the first part of it. That
okay,
is
so negotiation and what was the second part of what you said? Negotiation and
compromise. Oh, the second part of point
compromise.
three.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get
Mm-hmm.
to. Compromise, because this is
Mm-hmm.
very pivotal, very key. The compromise has to be on both sides. I'm
Come
just
on.
to be real with you. The
You hear
compromise
that?
got to be on both sides,
Both of
meaning
them.
that
Left and right.
both sides,
Up and down. Near and far. Both. Yin
yes,
and
on both
yang.
ends of the spectrum, compromise on both sides, meaning that if you're compromising on something with your mate must compromise on something with you
Mm-hmm.
because of the simple fact that it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm compromising on the fact of the matter is, let's just give you an example. I'll use myself for example. So Say I work 13 hours. Let's just say I work 13 hours, right? I'm in culinary. We work a long time. Say I work 13 hours. I get off, and you want to go to another part of the state, for instance, and say that other part of the state is 2 hours away. It's holiday time. Okay. You want to go? I done worked all this time. So my compromise is getting off, being prepared when I get off, meaning packing my bag, having my things ready. So when I get off, I can get in the car and we can then drive and go to wherever your family is. That's my compromise because I already worked 13 hours. So we're going to go to wherever you want to go to. So the other part of making sure that the compromise is done on both sides is I say, hey, I'm tired. I give you the first hour, but I need you to drive for the next hour. So there's a compromise on your side because we're doing something that you want to do. I may not totally agree with it, but I respect your opinion. I respect how you feel. You want to be with your family. I want you to be happy. I want to be with your family also because it's something that you want to do.
Right.
So I drive the first hour. You drive the second hour.
That's it.
There goes the compromise right there. Just that simple, people. I personally don't want to go because I work 13 hours. Let's just be real. I don't want to go. But at the same time, you're my mate. We're in this together. You want to go. It's holiday time. It's reasonable for you to ask me to go. It's not unorthodox or out of the box for you to want to spend time with family. But what I'm saying is, hey, I done worked all this time. I can only give you X, Y, Z. I need you to take the last hour. So there's your compromise on both sides. And that's just one simple example. So we could get a little bit deeper in that, but I want to get a little bit further on point number 3 so that we can
Yeah,
elaborate
because
and we
it's a
can
sec. I
discuss.
ain't even read all of number 3. But before I read the rest of number 3, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got some points that I wrote down.
Yeah.
You said about you got to realize that this is another person. They don't see things like you see things. They have a different set of
Mm-hmm.
eyes. They have a different set of
Correct.
eyes. They have a whole different viewpoint on that.
A different heart.
A different heart, a different like y'all know enough and love each other enough to be together or whatever, but you still need to
Mm-hmm.
understand that is a whole nother human being.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could see red, they could see fuchsia. It's still a tone of red, but y'all don't see that thing the same. And that
At
has to be
all.
okay. That has to be okay sometimes.
It is
Another
okay.
I have
It
wrote
helps
down
for
was
a healthy relationship.
you can't invalidate a person's feelings if you're where I come with the negotiating compromise that you can't
Let me say
invalidate the
that
other
one more
person.
time.
You can't
There you go.
invalidate somebody's feelings. If I care for you or we're friends, lovers, or whatever, and I tell you something you're doing is bothering me or I don't like, I don't have to understand that. But you should respect me enough. Even if you don't care about me or love me, you should respect me enough to listen and process what I'm saying. Don't get
Listen is first.
defensive automatically because all you hear is, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Listen, because if I didn't care, I wouldn't even tell you. Apparently, well, I can't say apparently. I'm telling you because this is something that can be fixed in my eyes. So I want to discuss
Mm-hmm.
it. I want to talk about it. I want to come to some sort of resolution. But if you invalidate my feelings from the very beginning,
If you don't have open mindedness from the very beginning,
I said you have to listen correctly to respond effectively. That's why you
mm-hmm.
have to listen and to not respond. That's why you have to listen and try to understand and process. Just listen and take everything in and what they're saying and process before you answer. Because even if you don't listen to respond, if you listen and immediately start talking about
You ain't
take
heard what I said. I'm gonna be
at
real
all,
with you. You haven't heard what
at
I said.
all, you didn't take in
Especially if
consideration
I spoke
nothing I
longer than 2 minutes. You ain't heard what I said.
said. You was just waiting for your turn to talk. Because there's people who listen to respond and there's people who just wait for their turn to talk. There's just you ain't heard nothing I said.
They one and the same. If you listening just to get your point out,
Mhm.
come on now.
Then what? Now we just here. We're just
Now we
going.
wasting these. Now we wasting time. Let's be
We're
real.
going
Now
tit
we're
for tat.
wasting time,
Now we're going tit for tat.
and
See, you,
that gets us nowhere.
perfect example, y'all. I listened to what he said. I wasn't listening to respond, but when a point struck in me, I wrote it down. I wrote it down and tied in what I was saying to what he was saying. I couldn't have done that if I didn't listen to what he was saying. I'm not over here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Wait till he get done. I'm gonna say no, because if I didn't listen correctly or process what he was saying, then I wouldn't have gotten out
Exactly.
of the points I got to begin with.
Exactly. And I
So,
think that's a gem that we should drop as far as effective communication inside of a relationship. If
mm,
you're gonna have a deep conversation, it's okay to take notes. It's okay. You
yeah,
know,
push
it
record if
could
you got
be
to.
it could be something that could elevate your relationship. You never know. So I would say try it.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. If you're gonna have a heated debate or conversation, you get a notepad, he get a notepad. I say eliminate phones because phones sometimes become a distraction. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
could take a note on your phone, but in the middle of you listening to your partner, you could get a text message. You could get a couple likes on IG or Facebook, and you just kind of
Get
go
distracted.
left mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little piece of paper, little pencil, whatever. You said what you said, and give somebody an opportunity to elaborate on what they said. If they give you a point, reiterate it back to them. So you're telling me that, hey, you don't like it when I do this, 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 because this, this, this.
Right.
That is effective communication. Not, I told you four things I don't like and four reasons why I don't like them. You choose the one that triggers you
Woo!
and you want to give me a response to that one. What about the other three?
Come
What
on,
about the other
somebody.
three?
Come on, somebody.
So,
Mm-hmm.
effective communication in a relationship, just a gem, a tip, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes you have to take notes. Sometimes you have to literally shut your brain totally off
Mm-hmm.
to listen, to hear someone,
Mm-hmm.
to understand them, not just listen to, I'm coming
Oh,
back at
I
you
got
with
something to
what
say.
you did.
Right. Now we're gonna go to the rest of part three, the rest of
Okay.
point three, because we still on point three. Okay. So I doing during a calm, clear moment, agree that neither person should win the fight. If one, I gotta sit up for this. If one wins, the other loses and builds resentment. In effect, both have been lost. Both have lost because the relationship is damaged now. Even when one person is wrong, permit him or her to salvage their self-respect. Can I almost say that? I feel like I need to repeat that. If one person wins, the other person loses and builds resentment. So in effect, both of you have lost now because now you're damaging the relationship. And even when one person is wrong, permit that person to salvage his or her self-respect.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just take a moment of silence because
Hmm.
some people.
So let's
Go ahead,
go
because I.
ahead. So let's kind of elaborate on that. So
Mm-hmm,
when you're in a relationship, you become a team. It's a
mm-hmm,
partnership. So
mm-hmm,
you want to win together. You never want to lose together or apart.
mm-hmm,
Let's just be honest. You
mm-hmm,
want to win together.
mm-hmm.
And how do you win together? Sometimes you got to agree to disagree
Right.
until someone gets to the level of understanding you're at, or
Mm-hmm,
you get to the level of understanding that they are.
mm-hmm,
Because not to say that you're always going to be right or they're always going to be right,
mm-hmm.
but you never want to lose because when you lose, it's going away from each other, like you're
Yeah.
saying. You want to win together. You want to win, agree to disagree together. And to kind of go speak to what you're saying is you may not you may not agree. Like
Mm-hmm.
deep down in your heart, you may be raised a certain way, and
Mm-hmm.
they raised a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
they could view life a certain way, and you view life a certain way. But you guys are in the process of doing your best to make it work together.
Right.
So you may have to discuss, and I say discuss because argument and fighting, that's for the birds. We pass that. We're not on that.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a heated discussion about something that you both totally don't agree upon
Mm-hmm.
and get to a resolve. Meaning, hey, I don't agree with that. I see it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You see it that way. Let's leave it here.
Right.
There are things inside of a relationship that may take you a year, 2 years to get to that happy medium together. But you got to know when and how to approach those things. And you can't stray away from them. You
Scoop.
cannot stray away from them.
What
Because what happens
you
is
doing?
when you stray away from it, you become comfortable, you become content in
Mm-hmm.
your understanding, but you never help the other person get to the same understanding that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, y'all still on the same page, on a different page.
Listen here. When this came up, I wanted to be like triggered, but I'm not really triggered. I'm just like, oh, here's the thing.
Hmm.
There was this quote that most of the women in my family used to say all the time. And it's just, sometimes you don't realize how, like, oh, that's kind of
Kind of
kind
toxic.
of, yeah, that word that you just said, I said it, I'm not saying it again. Um, because the women in my family, I don't even know which side of the family it came from, honestly. It says, we're always right. Even when we're wrong, we're right.
I think that's a lot of women in general, but I'm gonna lay
Yeah.
off your toes tonight. I ain't gonna step on too many
I'm,
toes
I'm about to
tonight.
I'm about to run them over. Sometimes we ain't, well, it's always hard to say this part. Sometimes we're not correct all the time, ladies. I've said this on another episode. We're not correct. I just learned in my 30s. I've only been in my 30s for 3 years, going on 4. Um, it's okay if you're wrong. It's okay.
That's
It's
good to
how it's how the other person reacts when I'm wrong that makes me sometimes not want to admit that I'm wrong. And I'm not saying
That's
you should
understandable.
handle my wrongness with grace.
Mhm.
I'm just
No,
saying you got to permit me to have have my self respect, because
that's
sometimes I can be so stuck on an idea of something and it's wrong, and I don't have nobody to tell me it's wrong. I haven't had an intellectual enough conversation, emotionally emotional intellect either, spiritual spiritually intelligent, emotionally intelligent, mentally intelligent enough conversation with a person for them to make me realize that's wrong. Because somebody else could be telling me it's wrong, but it's the way you're telling me I'm wrong. I'm not gonna
mhm.
receive the way you're doing it. The yelling, the screaming, the fighting, the raising. I'm not gonna receive anything you say to me that way. So because you're yelling and I'm calm, then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm really not wrong. Because if I'm not even acting like that, you acting like that, you're supposed to be right. So it's the way you tell somebody they're wrong. Now, somebody else, my friend Deidre, God bless her, she is very good at telling me when I'm wrong. And sometimes the only thing she would say to something I say is, "No, we're not doing that." And I'm so taken aback because it's so smooth, so calm, so loving, but real stern, mama-ish. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not gonna do that. And then that'll make me stop and listen. Because when you're telling somebody they're wrong, you have to snap them out of, because they're just, when you're trying to tell somebody they're wrong and they know that you're going to tell them that they're wrong, they're already on defense mode. They already defend why they're not wrong. She snapped me out of all of that by just the way she approaches telling me I'm wrong. So now I'm prepared to listen to why I'm wrong. I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to be told I'm wrong. Who want to be who for real want to be told they're wrong? But
You got to.
it's enough love and respect Love and respect, people. Love and
Hmm.
respect there for me to listen to what she's telling me.
Hmm.
And I wrote down some notes because I always do. You were talking about you have to agree to disagree and you got to agree to leave something there. And I wrote down when you agree to leave it there,
Leave it there.
leave because my country that came out. Leave it over there. Don't pick that up. You throw that in the sea of forgetfulness. If in the sea of forgetfulness, if that's what you're doing, don't you go back in there and swimming because you throw things in the sea of forgetfulness. Then you hop in the sea to try to go get it, and you forget what you was originally mad at in the first place. Now you picking up other stuff that's over there.
Hmm.
So stay out. That's not for you to swim in. Everything the deep end in the sea of forgetfulness. Okay, stay out of that. Uh, I think. Okay, that was the note for that. Point four, people. We have made it to point
Wait, wait,
four.
wait. I got it.
Oh,
I
you
got
got
it.
something else to say?
No,
Go ahead.
I was listening to what you were saying, and I have to kind of replay it and come back to that.
Okay.
You made a point
Mhm.
about not responding gracefully,
Mhm.
but me personally, I feel like if you're with somebody and y'all together and you're trying and you're doing your best to make it work,
Mhm.
you must respond gracefully because that may be the only person in your life that you give that grace to.
Ooh.
You know, when you go out in the world
Mhm.
and you deal with work and things like that, some of those people they don't deserve grace. But your mate deserves grace of the simple fact that you chose them to be your mate.
Right.
So you owe them grace
Right.
because that's how you get to understanding. That's how you get to peace. That's how you get to resolve is through grace. I may be fired up. I may be totally upset about what you're saying and how you feel about something. But I'm going to give you grace and understand to the fact that that's how you feel, that's how you think. And it may not be totally how I feel or how I think, but because you're my partner, I'm going to understand you on a deeper level enough to give you grace.
Mm.
Say, hey,
Mm.
babe, I
Mm.
don't agree with this, but I respect you enough to say, hey, I understand where you're coming from because I know in your past, maybe something is wrong. Maybe
Mhm.
there's a trauma there that has happened that's making you feel this way.
Cause, folks, that's a whole nother episode. I feel like, cause,
You got to give your partner grace, man.
woo,
You have to. But the thing on the other side and the flip coin to that is your partner has to understand that there is some grace given there
mhm.
and it's not taken advantage of. And I'm gonna leave that there because
Woo,
I
yes,
could
that's a whole
elaborate.
episode. You see my face is a whole episode. Four. We was talking about this. We talked about this in the first 3 points. Um,
Mhm.
the fourth point, cooling off periods.
Okay.
You have to establish ground rules that permit either person to cool off before trying
Mhm.
to resolve anger. It may be necessary to walk away or engage in some other physical activity in order to allow your anger to dissipate. Such
Mhm.
a period can allow a person to identify the issue more clearly and organize his or her thoughts, thus keeping the fight more on focus.
You
I'm
and
going to
this
read that
fight word.
last sentence one more time.
You and this fight word.
Such a period can allow a spouse to identify the issue more clearly and organize his or her thoughts. Thus, well, this is from Psychology Today, so I didn't use the fight word, they did. Could organize his or her thoughts, thus keeping the fight more on focus. Because I will be the first to admit, in the middle of argument, young arguments, young me, 19, 21, 20, 21, I want to win the fight. I want to win this argument. My goal is to make you stop talking to me. Um, But that's when I like to argue. I don't like to do that. So, because I don't like conflict for real, because I want to win. So that's not the good a mindset to have.
To win. Yeah.
Right? That's not a mindset to have with somebody you love. I'm a win and you the loser. You don't want to be with the loser, so why would you want your partner to lose?
Okay.
To an earlier point, Elgin made, the keeping focus on the matter at hand is why I've reread that bottom part, because another reason why I think arguments and stuff get too out of hand. One, you don't allow the person to cool off. So now it started off fighting about who left the socks on the floor. Now you fighting about something that happened June 19th, 1993 at 4 p.m. That don't have anything to do with these socks.
Nah,
Nothing. Because now y'all just yelling. You trying to top each other's offense now. I'm mad at this. Well, okay, because you did that. Okay, you gonna, since we bringing that up, that's a woman phrase. I feel like, I'm sorry, ladies. Since we bringing that up, since we want to talk about so and so, what about just
exactly. So let's pause for a second. Let's deal with that. So what I want to say is, and I'm being a little transparent right here. I'm a
mm,
victim of doing this, but I've
mm,
grown past this.
mm.
When your mate brings up something, it is not the time for you to express what you're upset with your mate about. And I'm gonna
Whoop.
say it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
When your mate brings
Mm-hmm.
up something,
Uh,
it is not the time for you to express why you're upset with your mate. At that point, it is the time for you to listen, take it in, let's digest it, let's respond. Now, a day or two later, if you want to elaborate on why you upset or what they have done, then yeah, you do that. But if you want to get to a resolve, you want to get to a place of togetherness and peace together,
mm.
tit for tat is never the answer. If you upset with me,
Come on now.
let's deal with why you upset with me today.
Mm.
And let's not deal with what I may have been holding on to for 2 weeks and just have not expressed it to you. Just because whatever way I may not have wanted to talk about it, I may not have felt it was the right time. Whatever the case may be. In the moment, let's focus on the person that initiated the conversation. Let's be honest. Because
Mm.
sometimes people don't initiate conversation. They just don't because they don't like confrontation. But that's why I don't like to use the word fight. I
Say it
like to use
again.
the word
Rewind. Say that one more time. Sometimes people don't what they
initiate
do.
conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people don't initiate conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to use the word fight just because I feel like fighting, when you fight, nobody wins, you know? Um,
Mm-hmm.
somebody's going to end up hurt.
Yes.
But when you have a conversation or a heated conversation or an escalated emotional conversation, meaning that we can get to a resolve, we can both feel equal parties in the conversation. You was heard, I was heard, you was understood, I was understood. And sometimes, like we said before, it may be a agree to disagree moment and you leave it there. But I guarantee you, if you practice these things, there's going to be very, very minimal agree to disagree. There's going to be some times
Come
where
on.
mentally and from a mature standpoint, you're going to start to understand your partner more. Your mind is going to grow to the fact of the matter is, I can respect how you feel even though I don't agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see your point, respect your point, even though it may not be what's on my heart or what I feel. Because
Mm-hmm.
let's just be real. Sometimes you're not gonna agree with your partner. You just not. You just not gonna agree with them, and that's okay.
Newsflash. Huh?
But you gotta respect them.
Listen to the people who've been married before. I was with this person for 9 years, almost a decade. Let me tell you something. You're not going to agree
On
on
everything.
everything.
You're not.
Do not be shell shocked. Do not. But I learned early that we wasn't agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't think that because we in love and we're together that everything flows perfectly every day. Like it takes time and sometimes years to get into that flow. As soon as you get into that flow, something in your life may change and you have to get a whole nother flow.
Whole nother flow.
Because y'all can be single living up and then you have babies. Whole nother flow. Just when you get that baby situated, guess
Whole
what?
nother,
You want to have more kids. Ha, it's another flow. Somebody got make it fired, hired,
whole
whatever.
nother
Whole nother
dynamic.
flow. Death in the family. Whole nother flow. So you can't
Loss of job. Whole
whole
nother
nother
flow.
flow. Let's
COVID-19. Whole nother
whole nother flow.
flow.
Somebody speak to the that's gonna be a whole other episode, whole nother flow. I'm gonna write that down right now. You it takes time, whatever, to get to that. People want this gonna be a whole nother episode, but I'm gonna get off my TED Talk soapbox in just a second so I can move on to the next point. People want to be in relationships so bad that they rush how you're supposed to, what at what point you're supposed to be in a relationship. Okay, we finally made it to the point where we're together. You want the 5 years in type of stability, but y'all been dating for 30 days. How, Sway? How? So what you do is all these, I won't say toxic because I'm getting tired of that word. You do all these things immaturely in the relationship. Not that you're immature, but
Nah,
you doing
I got
5 year things,
a better word for you. You do all these unproductive things.
huh?
Prior to production. Unproductive things.
Mm-hmm. To try to make it be, you want this stability of the 5 years in these 30 days. So you're doing everything you think you would have done in the 5 years in the 30 days, and you think that's going to, no, people have to work. You work from day 30 to 31. You got to work from day 31 to day 32 and so on and so forth. You're not going to have that stability that you can have the dream in your relationship, but you got to work towards it. It's not going to pop up right then and there. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. I just want to let y'all know
And it happens.
that real quick. Poetry snaps. Just want to let y'all know real quick. That's a whole nother episode. That's Playtime is over part two. Y'all need to go check out part one because that's what I'm gonna be on. The Playtime's over part two. All right. Point five. We have made it to point five. I think after this we can give to the one more point after that. But point five. After you have had the cooling off period, if you decide to do a cooling off period, pin down a time and a place that you're going to discuss whatever is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, be sure, however, that resolving this issue is not postponed indefinitely.
Correct.
Um, After cooling off, pin down a time and place to continue, um, and make sure it's the time where you can be you can pay attention and they can pay attention. Don't do it. Okay, you ready to talk about that now while I'm in the bathroom taking a shower or you brushing your teeth. Right. Like when you pick this time and place, be serious about this time and place. Be intentional. Like Elder said, if you got to get a notepad and a piece of paper, y'all got to sit at the table with no phones and the TV off and the kids put up. Whatever this time you pick to talk about this issue, really sit down and talk about it. Don't wait until somebody doing something. Ladies, you hate that game, but I'm a nerd. I like video games, so I'm not gonna be a hater. But you hate that game, but you wait to right to that man sign in the Call of Duty, put the headphones on, get his squad together. Can we talk about that? Yes, what we was gonna talk about yesterday?
Now you want to talk. And
Men,
I'm not even a gamer, but that's the wrong time, man.
man, if your girl in the tub and her bubbles and her stuff all together and she just chilling and she got her book and everything, the towel on the back of her head, the lemons on her eyes, all that. Babe, can we talk now? If you don't get your,
Time, sir.
you gonna get cussed out. It's not the right time. So when y'all pin down that time and place, do it together. Be real intentional about it.
Correct. And one thing I kind of want to go back to, I feel like we didn't clarify, and point four is the cool down period. It has to be agreed upon time. Your cool
Yes.
down period can't be 2 days, and mine is 1 day. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to compromise, like we've been talking about before, and pick a cool down period that is for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You may only need 3 hours. I may need 12. Okay, what's in the middle of 3 and 12? 6. So that
69.
means we go to bed and we talk about it in the morning. If we got to get up early to talk about it, we need to get
Let's
up
do
early
it.
to talk about it.
Right.
Because what doesn't need to happen is we say, okay, our cool down period is 6 hours. We go to bed at 10. That means we need to get up early before
To
work
talk.
to talk
'Cause we got to
about
get it out.
it. Because it's not fair to the other person to have to go to work, be around other people, having all this emotion, having all these feelings pent down the side, and
Right.
still effectively be productive at work. No.
Mm-hmm.
If we say we're going to talk about it in the morning, if that means we got to get up at 5, we got to leave
Hey.
the house at 7, we need to get up at 5. We need to talk about it so that we can effectively get this done. Because what happens sometimes is resentment plays a part in the fact, and that is, oh, you don't hear me when we agreed that we should hear each other. So
Right.
now I got to go to work. I'm upset. Somebody late. Somebody did this. Somebody did that. So now by the time I get home, I'm not open to receive. I just want
Anything. Right.
to shoot
I'm gonna take this whole day out on you.
at. Exactly.
Um. Just to,
Make sure the cool down point is agreed upon. The time frame
mm-hmm.
is agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
And to speak to point number 5, you have to pick a time that is effective for each other, not
Mm-hmm.
just for you
Mm-hmm.
being one party in the situation, but effective for each other. And like you said, I really love the point that you said about the kids being in bed, everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect opportunity. Because let's be real, most people in relationships these days, they got a kid. Either
Mm-hmm.
they got it together or they had it beforehand and not a kid there and they trying to make it work, doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever they need to do. That undivided attention time is important, is extremely key, is extremely vital to the
Listen.
success of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens a lot of times is people want to have a conversation and the children fill up. The children cry, or the children don't want to go to bed. Now you got
Mm-hmm.
to stop, read them stories, go give them discipline, go do X, Y, Z. And then now I just forgot what I had to say.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I done seen parents fall asleep in the middle of a conversation. Like I have a friend. She's a stay at home. She was a stay at home mom. She got 3 children, and the kids finally go to sleep. We supposed to chill. I done been at work all day. I done went over there to chill. We done had 8 glasses of wine apiece. 8 glass. Next thing I know, the credits. We wake up. Netflix talking about continue watching. When did we fall asleep? So you get this. That's why you got to be real intentional about that time.
Correct.
All right, it's lots of points on here, ladies and gentlemen. Um, but I'm gonna end it with this 6. Uh, it's quite a few, but that's all right. That means you got to keep watching. You got to keep watching to get this work, to get this knowledge. You got to keep watching, and that's okay. Because why wouldn't you want to keep watching? All right. Anyway, the last point we're gonna go on today. The last point, then we're gonna close out. And this is this is a very good one. It might go on for a little bit. Point six, point six. And I'm glad this is the last one for today because I feel like it's gonna go a little bit. It's gonna go for a little bit. It's real short. Point six, the first part of point six, and I'm this for this one. Wait until I'm done reading the whole thing.
Of course, always.
Wait, I'm telling myself that too because the first sentence is only 4 words, but I was waving my hand because I feel the spirit of the Lord. Amen. On this right here. Mm, 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 mm. The first sentence in this point is fight by mutual consent.
Mhm.
Fight by mutual consent. Don't insist on a fight when your spouse is tired or unable to handle the strain. A fair fight requires 2 ready participants. Again, fight by mutual Consent.
You can't be in the ring by yourself.
Because, baby, let me tell you, I will let you holler by yourself. I've done it. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not upset about it either. I can't do this right now. And I understand that you're upset, but I cannot do this right now. It's been a long day. I just got home from work. I'm tired. Work was terrible. I cannot do this right now. Can we please talk about this in a couple hours? Let me get my woosah so I can come and be an effective listener. Because if you make me fight with you,
Mhm.
you're gonna be more mad than you was in the beginning. Especially if you're upset with me about something.
Pissed completely off.
What'd you say you was breaking up?
I said they're gonna be pissed completely off.
Because I'm a walk away in the middle of you talking.
Yep.
I just told you I need a minute. I'm not saying when your partner tells you it's not that I don't want to listen to you or I don't care. Just not right now. I'm not even saying tomorrow. I'm saying give me an hour or two. Let me decompress. Let me get myself ready for the information that I'm about to receive
Mm-hmm.
first. If this is what we finna do. But if not, you about to catch all this work because now I'm mad too, and I don't even care why you mad no more. I just you you can't just come to. It's another misconception in relationships. When you're upset, I do want you to come to me and tell me that you're upset. However, you don't get to pick what my response is to you being upset.
To be open and
You
ready for
don't.
you to jump in. I cannot be open
You
and ready
don't.
for you to jump
That's where the compromise and negotiation comes in. That's where I
in.
come in and say, hey, babe, not right now. Give me a minute, okay? Well, what's a minute? Hour to 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour. Give me that. And then let me take a shower. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get the day off me, whatever the reason is. I didn't say no. I just said not right now.
Right. You gotta hear your partner out.
So that's what I had to say about that point. You go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
trying to,
as if
sir,
that's
sir.
totally correct. You know, um, and I just reflect on my situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, both parties got to be willing and able to
Mm-hmm.
have this conversation. If I ain't feeling it today, I ain't feeling it today.
It is what it
And I
is.
gotta respect if you not feeling it today. There may be times where you just not feeling it today. You don't want to hear what I gotta say. You don't want to know that I pissed you off or that you pissed me off, whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's not gonna be the right time. So you have to make sure that the receiver is ready to receive, like we talked about in part
Ooh.
one.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that the receiver is ready to receive. And if you are the receiver, make sure that you're ready to receive. You can't think that you're perfect. You
Mm-hmm.
can't see yourself in that light. You gotta understand that it's stuff that you do wrong, it's stuff that your partner do wrong. But when your partner creates the opportunity to discuss what they feel is done wrong, you have to respect that discussion as
Mm-hmm.
it presents itself to you.
Right.
So that is a vital part in communication, period.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel I've done something wrong, you feel I hurt your feelings, to say the least, or you feel I responded in a negative manner to a certain situation
Mm-hmm.
that went left, you have to give your partner the opportunity to discuss it and say, hey, you did X, Y, Z. It hurt my feelings when you did X, Y, Z. It made me feel a certain way when you did X, Y, Z. It reminded me of something when you did X, Y, Z.
Right.
You have to find the story behind the pain. There's always
Mm.
a story behind the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Come on.
It's never just a one off. It's the story behind the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get to the story, then the deeper level of understanding begins
Mm-hmm.
because nobody has pain for no reason. It's always a reason why. It's always a reason why.
One more time. Say it one more time.
No one has pain for no
Mm-hmm.
reason.
For
There's
no reason.
always a reason why. Always. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you have pain, you have to allow someone to understand where that pain comes from
Mm-hmm.
so that they can understand you, number one, better, and they can understand that point of pain better.
Yep.
Because your pain could come from your mom, your pain could come from your dad, your pain could come from a previous relationship. But if I know that, your dad is your number one person in your life,
Mm-hmm.
I know that that pain is going to seep deeper
Yeah.
inside because I understand that your dad is your number one person in your life outside of me, of course, being
Mm-hmm.
your mate. Um, so you got to get to the root of the problem so that you can understand what your mate pain is infuriated from or triggered from or
Mm-hmm.
initiated from, however you want to word it. So it's got to be an open line of communication, but it's also got to be a time frame, like you're saying. And the first point of this is you got to be able and willing to listen and have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in that moment, okay, we not in that moment.
Right.
You
It's
can't.
not right now. It's okay. Like I said, I'm not saying your partner is not saying no. They're saying not right now.
Yeah,
But to wrap up today for you, ladies and gentlemen, I was just he made me come to my final point because I'm always thinking, what is my final point going to be? It's something he said that stuck with me. Like, you got to know where your pain stems from. To my final point for today, because it's going to be this is mental health month from here to February, people. I'm saying month, but from here to February, we're going to talk about mental, emotional health, just the betterment of us, because everybody's talking about self love, but they don't. What are you doing besides putting up self love posts? Like, my best friend Gloria put up a post today and she said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for
actively,
yourself today
actively
actively?
loving yourself.
What? So I shared it. I said, because she preaching and they don't even hear the word. If I could
All
put
you
a
need is
listen. But my final point for today is if you don't know how to deal with internal conflict, because you don't even realize that the person you fight with the most is yourself. If you don't know how to eternally deal with your own conflict, you're not going to be able to do it effectively with other people. You hear everybody say something told me. I call it the Holy Spirit. Other people call it the universe. But if you heard something tell you, don't do something. You don't listen to that. Now you fighting with yourself about why you didn't listen to that. So now you mad at yourself. Now you down on yourself because you don't know how to effectively handle. When you fighting with yourself, you can use all these points we just made. Even if you fight with yourself, do y'all know that? One, you got to know your feelings. You got to understand too. You got to understand the anger is emotion, even with dealing with yourself. Now, you have to negotiate sometimes with yourself too. Okay, if I do this, I know how I am. Am I ready to deal with the consequences about how I know I'm going to act? And then you
correct.
do stuff anyway, and then be mad at yourself, like, why I ain't listen to myself? Well,
Why? Me?
well, you have to give yourself some time to cool off before you make decisions. Don't make decisions based on emotion. Uh,
Oh,
you can pin down a time and place for yourself too, because I do it. I tell my friends all the time, hey, I'm about to have a mental health day. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. If you don't see me, if I don't post nothing, I'm fine. I need to have a conversation with me. It's usually me and the Lord, but I have to get this together first before I deal with other people. So you got to learn how to deal with conflict within yourself first. Then you can work better on other people. But Elgin, did you have any final words for the people today?
final point. Well, I would
Final
say
point for today.
number one, self love is key. Self love is important. What
Mm,
you do to work on oneself is very, very important. I'm very big on working out. I
mm,
feel as if you keep your body good, you keep your mental intact, you can attack the day, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, and that's very vital to self love. What you put inside of your body is self love for me. What you listen to is self love for me.
Mm-hmm.
What you watch is self love for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't watch anything that's uplifting, you'll never be uplifted. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't listen to anything that's uplifting, you'll never be uplifted.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't uplift yourself from a physical standpoint, meaning working out, meaning walking, I'm not saying you got to be in the gym lifting 300 pounds, but just making time to better yourself every day at some point in time in the day, then you don't really love you. So I would say it starts with self love for me, um, and I would encourage others to start there with self love, and then you get to the point where you can listen to hear,
Mm-hmm.
to take it in. Lastly, respond. Listen to hear, take it in, understand, then respond.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can become an effective communicator inside of your relationship. And one more point that I would make, I would say it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. You're never gonna always be right.
Come on, somebody.
In a relationship and in life, you're never gonna always be right. It's okay.
That's it.
If you're wrong 1 out of 10 times, accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Accept it. And even if you're wrong 3 out of 10 times, accept that. It's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
what happens is you have to find a partner that gives you grace. That when you're 3 out of 10 times wrong, they're gonna say, "Okay, babe, I understand you're wrong. This is where you're wrong. This is why I feel you're wrong. This is the support that I have to support me saying that you're wrong," and things like that. So
Right.
I would say start with self love. Start with your own personal motivation, however that may be. Me personally, like I said, I work out. I listen to a lot of positive things when I get up in the morning. Don't put trap music on in the morning. I'm sorry. Don't put trap
Hey,
music on in the morning. I love Ti. I love Ti. My favorite artist, but I
hey
don't
now.
listen to Ti before like noon.
Hey, listen, listen,
So build your
listen.
regimen, your self love regimen. A lot of people say self care Sundays. Hey, don't reinvent the wheel. Self care Sundays. If Sundays work for you, Sundays work for you. Sometimes it may be Tuesdays. Tuesdays work for you. Figure out what makes you happy, what you can do on your own that don't involve nobody else. It's very key. What you can do on your own that doesn't involve anybody else. It could be
Come
booking a
on now.
massage. It could be driving to the beach. For me, it's working out. It could be taking a walk. It could be going for a swim. It could be
Men's is
whatever it
pen.
is. It should not involve anybody else. You have to
Mm-hmm.
do it for you. That's why it's called
Mm-hmm.
self love. So that would be my final point is create your self love first and then listen to understand, then respond. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay.
It's
Once you
okay.
understand it's okay to be wrong, then you'll get to the point where you're okay with your partner elaborating on why he feels or why she feels that you're wrong.
That part. Well, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another episode of the Queen's Realm podcast. I got to do a couple of shameless plugs. I did them
Hey,
already, but I'm going to do them again because this is my show.
do them again.
So we got the nails. I'm going to put it behind my background. The nails. Okay. The nails from Kalima's Colors. Follow Kalima's Colors on Instagram, also on Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna type it over. It's gonna be in the description when the video is already done. Okay, we got my custom, my custom. I gotta find the camera. I gotta make it focus. You know what I'm saying? My custom. There we go. My custom braid bracelets from my best friend Gloria. Go over there and follow Beaded Glory Jewelry on Instagram. Okay, and
Yeah.
also on the Facebook page, I'm gonna put all of that in the description. While you at it, go to Facebook right now. Okay, go to Facebook right now and type in Queen's Realm Podcast Group. It's a
Yes,
whole group.
yes.
Jump in there.
Tap in with us.
Come
Tap
on,
in with us.
jump in there because we're talking about episodes. Uh, it's a lot of Black-owned businesses and entrepreneurs over there that are always shout out. We have good discussions over there, so come on over there too, so you can know what's happening here. But I thank my special guest, Mr. Exec. He gonna be fancy. I'm gonna be fancy with him. Executive L for being on the show today. It's gonna be many episodes of him again because I didn't even ask him. I'm just, saying. And I said it on camera, so now he got to do it. But I appreciate y'all and thank y'all
Yes,
for
sir.
tuning in today. We'll see y'all soon. We'll see y'all soon.